So I just wanted to sum it up and take a moment to go over how I went about lifting the walls and the height of my shed. I did it to accommodate my height. I'm 6'3", so the regular height of the shed is a little bit lower than what I would like. So I extended my wall 11 inches, and in this video I will be going over how I went about framing it up to get it to accommodate for my height. There's 3 areas in constructing this that I did not go in detail during the time I was putting this up. It was Hurricane Nicole was in effect, so it became pretty windy and raining. So I went ahead and I installed this here splash guard, the door panels, and my sides here. The first area is here. If you're going to use hinges, then you won't have to worry about cutting this back, but I had to cut this back in order to accommodate the door being able to slide open and close. The second one is the door itself. Cutting the panel to fit here, and I put rollers on it so it will roll easier, open and closing. And for this part, I used a flange and shaped it to the door, shaped it to the opening, and that came out as such. And then of course the third is this here the corner to make it look a little neater. But I will be going back and putting another coat of this ceiling on. It's holding up pretty good. I have not seen any leaks since I've had it in place. I have the tarp on because I have a couple screws up top that are loose, and I'm gonna have to put some of that tape on them to protect it, to keep water from coming in. But at the moment, this is where I am, and this is how it turned out. I will eventually switch this out to the outdoor paneling and also put the corners on here. Hopefully this will be helpful to someone that's interested in raising your barn walls for your height. Get a little more headroom. If you're interested in how I went about doing it, if you just hit that like button, if I get a few likes or people that are really interested in it and would like to try this method, I'll be happy to share those 3 points with you. And on that note, let's get to it. I want to raise my shed. I was thinking 12 inches, but I'm going to raise it 11 inches in order that I might have an inch from here to here overhang of the plywood on the outside. That way the water will not be seeping up under and onto the floor from this point. I'm gonna have to see what we'll do from the top side, but as far as the bottom, I'm gonna raise it up so to give my shed a little height, and I'm gonna raise it 11 inches. I'm gonna get started on that now. Okay, I'm putting this back riser wall together, and just to go over a little technique I'm using, I just use the clamps to hold it, lined it up, and then use the clamps to hold it in place while I hammer. Okay, just for another pointer, I'm using the clamps to hold it in place as well as I line it up. Therefore, when I start hammering it, I can set it in place, and these will hold it secure as I maneuver it and hammer it down. With no fear. And that is
is exactly what God tells us we can do when we trust Him with all of our heart. The Hebrew
Okay, we
word
got
picture
that
is
part,
lying down in His presence.
that wall together.
There's no fear,
Work
there's
on
no
this
shame,
here
there's
side.
no ridicule. There is safety.
Part I'm gonna have to work on is the entrance right here. I got another section like that I'm gonna put the top on and set in place. Okay, so there we have it. I have the bottom part of the frame for the shed in place. That's right at 11 inches. Still have to cut the door in place once we have it all set up. Next we'll be securing the frame to the floor, and then the metal frame on top of the wooden frame. Like I said, those C-clamps, they really come in handy in holding stuff in place, especially if you're doing it by yourself. Okay, at this point, I have the walls up, that middle support. Now with that middle support, I had to get my helpmeet to hold that in place because as you may hear, it's raining and the wind was pretty strong earlier because the remnants of Hurricane Nicole is pushing through, but the wind has calmed down right now. But like I said, the main thing I want to show you is how I'm going about lifting the walls, the height, where I got a little headroom. For the rest of the shed, the instructions pretty much covers everything from A to Z. My video, once again, is just how I went about extending the wall height to give me some head clearance. I went ahead and we have this side cut back, that piece there, so now we'll go and we'll cut this side back. What I failed to do on this side is I wanted to cut this out instead of cutting the whole piece straight. I wanted to cut this out so when I line my holes up for that middle support, it will have a perfect alignment. At least we'll have an alignment on this side, and we'll just have to work with the alignment on that side. Okay, I cut that along the edge again. I did cut that out. I wanted to say the L, but I started cutting and just lost focus. But this is the edge that you will cut. And this here rail piece will fit in here. I just have to get some custom cuts on this because I cut this one out, I jacked this one all up. And I'm doing this to keep water from going down into the grooves and getting up under the boards. So I'm hoping this will seal it off. But this is how it's coming along. I just wanted to share this right quick. I'm putting it together now all around the edge. But what I'm gonna do is, see, I've cut this one here. This one here is just placed up against it. And then this one here is cut with the grooves to slide down within each one of these little panels to hopefully give me a tighter fit. And then I just come and caulk it all the way around. And I'm gonna go ahead and get all this set up and in place. And when I get to what I'm gonna do is when I get to the front side here, as you see, this side here is I've started on it. I'm trying to get it together, but I'm holding off on this side to put it all together, because once I put it all together, I'm going to show you how I go about putting these little, I'm going to just call them runners, on, and setting up everything on this side. I'll show you how I complete the whole side once I get to this, but for the time being, I'm just going to go ahead and finish putting all the bottom together, and then hopefully I'll get on getting the doors in place. Okay, now I'm going to show you how I go about setting this up to protect the screws from water leaking under it, and also setting up the panel and my board.